Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1, engage. scan complete.
Empire attacks Neo-Marlinist faction. Pilots Federation alert. Conflict has erupted between the Epsilon Fornarchis Empire Group and the Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid. An investigation by ACT in the Madrid system confirmed that the Order of Madrid provided logistical support for the NMLA's Farport attacks. Their agents infiltrated other local factions to transport enzyme bombs to their targets. The faction has now renamed itself the Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid. Landgrave Arastin Delacroix, its leader, has declared a revolution against the imperial family. From his flagship, the Steel Majesty, he announced, "The corrupted Vals will never give up their power, so we must take it from them. All those who seek to change the established order, join us." The Epsilon Fornarchis Empire Group responded by engaging their forces in battle. Senator Denton Patrias has ordered them to take revenge for the Nine Martyrs' atrocities. This is the first instance of a faction openly adopting Neo-Marlinism, although it has not been officially recognized by the Marlinist colonies. Minister Aaron White commented, "It's a lost opportunity that Landgrave Delacroix chose to aid extremists, rather than provide a political platform to the Neo-Marlinist community. I hope we can soon replace the cycle of violence with meaningful communication."
Surface scan complete. Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete. Surface scan complete.
Galactic Mysteries, Generation Ships. Eric Gunnarsson and Francesco Wolf investigate the abandoned relics of spacefaring communities from the early years of colonization. Wolf, Generation ships are essentially mobile cities designed to carry expanding populations and are always an impressive sight. But there's one I keep returning to, the Thetis, orbiting the Nefertum 6A. Listening to its logs always chills my blood. They describe how a whispered phrase from an uninhabited planet somehow caused over 17,000 people to slaughter each other. Nobody knows if it was mass hysteria, psychological stress from decades in space, or something else. So many visits to the Thetis, and I still can't work up the nerve to play its final log entry. I've been warned that I won't be the same afterwards. Gunarsin. Before hyperdrives, generation ships were a viable way to colonize distant star systems. Millions of people lived out their whole lives within self-contained societies, so their descendants might walk upon new worlds. The tragedy is that many of these pioneering megaships vanished entirely, never reaching their destinations. But some were rediscovered, usually because of listening posts intercepting their ancient broadcasts. There are various reasons why these expeditions failed. The Lazarus, now orbiting Viridnir 6, suffered mechanical breakdowns, whereas the Pleione, in the Sadr System, had a population that only produced male babies. Most disturbing are those where the crew descended into barbarism, like the Artemis in New Cassiopeia C1 and the Demeter in the Misuchi system. Along with Wolf's favorite, if that's the right word, these stand as horrific monuments to our darker natures. Lost generation ships rarely carry survivors, but that was the case with the Golconda, whose people now occupy an outpost on Epaniclis B3. So perhaps more living relics are still adrift in the void, waiting to complete centuries-long missions. Empire...
Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete.
The wedding of Hadrian de Val. Imperator Hadrian Augustus de Val, leader of the isolationist group Nova Imperium, has married his consort Astrid Minerva in a closed ceremony. Commander Minerva was a young Imperial pilot who aided Nova Imperium at the Battle of Parisa in 3305 and became a loyal supporter. Her official title is now Lady Astrid Minerva de Val. Princess Aisling de Val personally attended her cousin's wedding at a secure location. She referred to it as a precious moment of joy in these bleak times. The Imperial Palace and the Senate have sent congratulatory messages, and the event was covered by mainstream media. Parisa News Network. Astrid's well-deserved rise to nobility has made her fellow Parisans very proud. Everyone at PNN is overjoyed for the happy couple. Ion Akanar. It's an insult to the noble de Val bloodline when some trigger jockey from a gutter system can sink her claws into the Emperor's own nephew. The Imperial Herald. Hadrian taking a bride at the age of 20 has surprised many. If he becomes the only de Val to produce heirs, it will place pressure on Emperor Arisa and Princess Aisling, neither of whom have consorts. In related news, Nova Imperium vessels are participating in the current conflict against the Neo-Marlonists of Madrid. Praetor Leo Magnus, head of security, is liaising with the IISS on anti-terrorism intelligence. Galactic Mysteries, Generation Ships. Eric Ganassim. Federation begins anti-terrorist monitoring. The Proactive Detection Bureau has been set up by the Federal Intelligence Agency to scan civilian communications for signs of terrorist activity. The new department was formed following congressional approval of the Domestic Counter-Terrorism Act. This was drafted by Vice President Jerome Archer, who told the media, "The PDB is a vital tool to prevent further massacres on the scale we have recently witnessed. It will unearth NMLA terrorists and other dangerous activists concealed among innocent citizens and help keep our families safe." Deputy Director Bethany Blake, who has been appointed to run the Proactive Detection Bureau, explained its operations. Highly advanced algorithms will scan all data transmitted across public and private networks on a system-wide level. Any suspicious communications are redirected to a regional hub for review by trained investigators. It is important to understand that only specific activity within narrow parameters will be flagged and must pass dozens of automated checkpoints before our operatives can access it. Shadow President Winters and civil rights groups have protested that this violates long-standing privacy laws. However, President Hudson has championed the PDB as a cornerstone of the new counter-terrorism statutes.
Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete. Surface scan complete. Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete. Surface scan complete.
The awakening of the Adamastor. Pilots Federation alert. The Adamastor, a 200-year-old ghost ship in orbit around Chukchan 5b, has received a mysterious encrypted signal. The derelict vessel has been undergoing investigation by Alliance Salvage Guild teams since its discovery last October. They released this report. Months ago, we cut open one of the Adamastor's damaged cargo holds to find an undeployed communications beacon. We managed to power it up, but it contained no data and had never been used. This beacon has now automatically activated and is receiving and rebroadcasting a long-range signal. The transmission source cannot be identified, but is definitely of interstellar origin. Its encoded content has yet to be deciphered. The Adamastor vanished in 3111 after an incident that may have involved the first historical encounter with the Thargoids. It reappeared in 3306 when it entered the Chukchan system at sublight speeds on autopilot, with no sign of its crew. It was recently learned that in 3113 the Adamastor's sister ship, the Hesperus, also disappeared. Both were owned by a corporation called Azimuth Biochemicals, which was absorbed by a rival named Pharmasapien. Little is known about either company, but it is believed they were competitors in the field of xenological research.
Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete. Surface scan complete. Surface scan complete. Surface scan complete.
Neo-Marlinist faction defeated in battle. Pilots Federation alert. The Madrid system conflict has ended with the Epsilon Fornakis Empire group overcoming the Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid. This was triggered by ACT discovering that the Neo-Marlinist faction had provided transports and logistical support for the NMLA's attacks against 9 starports. The Epsilon Fornarchus Empire Group has thanked all pilots who contributed to its triumph. Rewards are now available at Painscott City in the Madrid system. Landgrave Erastin Delacroix, ruler of the Neo-Marlinist Order of Madrid, has so far evaded capture. He managed to broadcast this message. Those brave warriors who fought for our cause can receive recompense at the Steel Majesty. One day we will slay the Duvals and bring revolution to the Empire. Inspector Mara Klatt of ACT told the media, "This is a definite victory against the NMLA." It also provides an insight into their modus operandi, promising disenfranchised or delusional leaders, such as Landgrave Delacroix, increased status in the New Republic should they succeed. We assume they used similar third parties to support the Alliance and Federation bombings. Our agents are gathering information, but it's clear that the NMLA's network is more advanced and widespread than we first suspected. Imperial Senator visits Marlinist colonies. Senator Lurkin Scordato has visited the Marlinist colonies on a fact-finding mission as part of the Empire's anti-terrorism operations. The Imperial Herald was permitted to publish this summary of his preliminary report. Considering their recent refugee status, the Marlinist communities are remarkably well organized. Their government works along Republican lines, but they have not abandoned Imperial culture, with many feeling homesick for their original worlds. However, their situation remains precarious, with 3 of their 8 systems now under the control of external factions. Without increased support from the galactic community, further losses may be unavoidable. Regarding the NMLA, there is widespread anger that they have made all Marlinists look like monsters. Only rarely did I sense guarded approval, with the vast majority openly condemning the terrorists. The Marlinist Parliament is small but efficient, containing a spectrum of viewpoints. First Minister Fairfax is focused on cohesion and survival. Amrita Ross discussed future reintegration with the Empire, while Aaron White sees Neo-Marlinism as a valid political movement if violence can be avoided. Months ago these were ordinary Imperial citizens, and our shared history still binds us. Generally, I feel that the Marlinist colonies are closer to allies than enemies in our war against the NMLA. Neo-Marlinist faction defeated in battle. Galactic Mysteries. Dredger Clans. Eric Gunnarsson of the Wall Glass Investigations Agency discusses the nomadic tribes that wander the galaxy in converted dredger megaships. It's well known that there are many traveling communities, groups of people who prefer to live on the move rather than settle anywhere. Proudly independent, they survive on the fringes of civilization and tend to avoid interacting with the authorities. Those commonly known as the Dredger Clans are among the most successful. Dredger-class bulk cruisers convert both natural and man-made minerals into raw resources to sustain themselves on deep space voyages. Improved hyperdrives and fuel-scooping systems made this design redundant long ago, but some were taken over by nomads and kept operational. These dredgers are now a type of generation ship. Each hosts tens of thousands of people, whose cultures have evolved, or devolved, over decades or centuries. Some are true loners while others have formed alliances, or occasionally gather to increase their gene pools. Typically these clans act as scavengers, quickly passing through systems to steal anything not locked down. Several take what they need in more aggressive ways, such as raiding unprotected outposts. A few have even darker reputations. I remember being told as a boy, "If you don't behave, the faggers take you away in your sleep and eat you up." All my childhood nightmares came surging back when I discovered there may be some truth to that story. More recently, I've heard rumors that a rarely seen Dredger clan has resurfaced. Naturally, Wolf has rushed off to find out more. Hopefully she'll be able to increase our limited knowledge of these mysterious tribes.
50%. Surface scan complete. 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 Surface scanned by 50%. Surface scan complete. Orbital flight engaged.